My name is Melissa Ward. I'm the Administrative Dean for Peace Theological Seminary and College of Philosophy, which I'll be referring to as PTS this afternoon. PTS was founded by John Roger in 1977, which means we're now in our 38th year of offering classes, workshops, retreats, and graduate programs. Yay. Worldwide in English, Spanish, in person, and live online. Thank you. We're very proud of that, too. Before we begin the celebration, I'd like to start off by thanking the friends and family members of our graduating students. Your support has deeply been appreciated, as many of them have shared that they could not have completed this program without your support. So thank you so much. I'd also like to thank our worldwide audience, as this graduation is also being streamed live online. So thank you for joining us. We are here today to honor our Masters of Spiritual Science graduates, as well as our Doctor of Spiritual Science graduates. Lee Taylor Young Morton, Doctors Ron and Mary Holnick, PTS staff, faculty, MSIA presidency, grads, and guests, would you please stand and join me in welcoming our 2015 faculty and graduating class.
Sed nomine, tuo da gloria. This day and this moment. Domine, This day, in this moment, in this very second, in this breath, Christ resides in you. The kingdom of heaven is present.
You may take your seats. Thank you. So today we're blessed to have some very special guests that are going to be with us this afternoon. I'd like you to join me in welcoming Dr. John Morton, the Spiritual Director of PTS. Thank you. His lovely, it's better in writing. His lovely wife, Lee Taylor Young Morton, who's also the ambassador of MSIA. And we also want to extend a warm welcome to Doctors Ron and Mary Holnick, the co-directors of the University of Santa Monica. It's always so great, Ron and Mary, when you can join us. Thank you so much. So we're now going to invoke the presence of the light, which is something we do at every PTS event. And I'm going to call forward Lee Taylor Young Morton to call us forward into the light.
Father, Mother God, we are all joined together to open our hearts, to welcome you into our hearts. As we feel ourselves surrounded, blessed, protected by the light of the Holy Spirit, we gather in your name, embracing the Christ consciousness, We welcome the mystical traveler and the preceptor consciousness and the preceptor, yes, the preceptor through John Roger. And all the years, JR, that you've stood here, we feel your presence yet again. We're so grateful that you're with us and we love you. And we're so grateful to have this mystical traveler, John Morton, to be with us. We're filled with grace, knowing that this work is your work. This work is dedicated to you, to ourselves as the Christ. And we're so grateful to serve in this way and in your name. Berush Beshan. Anna.
Thank you, Lee. That was beautiful. We're now going to move into our Masters of Spiritual Science graduation. The MS class is a 2-year program. Year 1, we focus on creating through grace, where students increase their ability to go within, to listen to their own intuition, to attune to their own inner wisdom, so that regardless of outer circumstances, they know that God is truly their partner. Year 2, the focus is fulfilling the spiritual promise, where students learn about letting go of the past and rediscovering the innocence of living in the present. We have 10 Master of Spiritual Science students who will be graduating today. So I'd like to invite Dr. John Morton and Liz Bixby up to assist in our graduation. Elisa Geiges, our Director of Graduate Studies, will be at the podium calling out the names of the students. Will the candidates for the Master of Spiritual Science degree please rise and come forward to the stage?
Cheryl Allen. Judith Bombach. Edward Courtemache. Jason Paul Jansky. Susan Burdick Perry. Treva Ponder. Leanna Marie Sharp. Barbara Trees. Matthew Van Fossen and Achilles. And we had two other graduates that were unable to make it today, Lisa Rattel and Nicole Tang.
If you were a master's facilitator, would you please rise so we can thank you for your lovely service? Justin's in the back. Thank you. And if you assisted at the master's class, if you could please rise so we can thank you. I know some of them were students as well. So we're now going to move into our Doctor of Spiritual Science graduation, and I'd like to introduce Deborah Martinez, one of our key facilitators for the DSS program. Deborah has largely been responsible for the adaptation of the class for our LiveOnline program. Deborah?
Hi, everyone. I'll start with a little confession. I had a whole thing written out. I have no idea where it is. So we're going to do what is done best here and let Spirit lead here. We'd like to share with you a video of our founder, Dr. John Roger. At the very first Doctor of Spiritual Science graduation in 2001, and he's basically going to give us the essence of what is the Doctor of Spiritual Science. So enjoy.
So we've just witnessed to the public in general, to all of us, but especially to ourselves, that we can take a course of study as complicated as this one was. You come to something that I might have dropped. From the very first times that I spoke, I said, this is about loving. This is about loving yourself, loving God with your body, mind, and soul, and your neighbor as yourself. And if you don't want to do this, you're in the wrong place. What could this world become if we all had insight into our beingness, into where we wanted to go, into how we wanted to assist people, how we want to love people? How do you want to be loved? These doctorate graduates from PTS, they set themselves a priority of loving. And if we have to take up study to help guide us, to keep us online, then let's take up the study. Let's get inside of our heads and our heart and find out who's living there and how we're doing. If the kingdom of heaven is indeed inside, what are we doing messing around? PTS class was set up and designed based on the whole premise that the kingdom of heaven is at hand and it's inside. And let's go get it. And you people did that by getting diplomas, doctorate degree in spiritual science. A lot of people who are new in here, a lot of the masters have a pretty good idea that they're not going to take the doctorate degree. And I want to tell you chicken-hearted livered that I really don't blame you. But I'm going to keep it in your thoughts for quite a while. That you can go on and do more with yourself than you ever thought you could do up to this point. And look what you've accomplished. And you people in the master's degree, you didn't think you would learn all that you learned about you and be able to apply it. And I would ask each one of you to consider, get your doctorate degree from Peace Theological Seminary and College of Philosophy. Just get going and start doing it, because the ability to do is given to us by our ability to do. And if we just keep doing the abilities, just keep doing, not a lot, not special, not perfect, because that means you can't do it. It has to be able to change so we can go for good and excellence. But we got to know that inside of here, we are being forthright and honest and uplifting to ourselves and others around us. And in this, we're going to find the spiritual, loving heart. And I love all of you. Berush Beshan.
So the bottom line there that I heard over and over again was John Roger talking about the loving. And to me, the Doctor of Spiritual Science is really about becoming a disciple of loving. To have that loving discipline so that you love yourself no matter what. You love others no matter what. You love what is no matter what. And what is just where you are right now and whatever is there with you. So that loving absolutely came through in our very first offering of DSS online worldwide. JR also said in that little excerpt, he said the words online, which I thought was great. I don't know if you noticed, but he said online. And he also said, what would this world become? And I really, in my experience, and maybe there are some of you in the audience today who have been a part of the first year online, I think we're experiencing what the world is becoming in that class. Can I get a yes from anyone who's been in that? Yes. It truly is a worldwide experience. It truly is about the loving, the oneness. I would even go so far as to say the one accord. One of the things that we've really been able to create in the class is that no matter where you are, whether you're in the classroom where we're basically shooting the live class online, or you're at home at your computer online in whatever country you're in, or you're in a group location in a country watching online, or you're watching the recordings later. over and over again, students tell us it's all one class. We're all together. When students visit the Prana headquarters from the UK, or we've had some folks come in from South America, they're like, oh yeah, this is the classroom, I've been here. I know what this is. And they run up to the other students, oh, I know you, hi, how are you? So really, we're creating this worldwide bunch of light beings who are all going in the same direction towards the loving, higher and higher. There's a spiritual energy with GSS that's a very, very high energy, and it's just expanding. So wanted to give you a taste of the joy and the loving by showing you some slides of some of our students worldwide. So this really is only a small representation, but it does give you a sense of that worldwide flavor. So if we could run that slideshow. So hopefully you caught some of the spirit there, the joy, and the worldwide flavor of this online class. And, you know, it took somewhere around 275 or more people to really bring forward this first online DSS class. The participants, the assistants, the readers, the tech support crew, the staff, everyone involved. And so really we are talking about a worldwide undertaking. So, and we're moving into year 2. So I'm now inviting you, if you have ever completed successfully the year 1 of the Doctor of Spiritual Science class, you can come participate in DSS year 2 online. It starts in October. Again, you can take this class at your computer in your pajamas at home. You can take it in a group location where other students gather around the world. You can come to Prana West to the live classroom, but we are open to even more, even greater And if you're a grad or you're an audit, you're still welcome. We have a number of grads and audits repeating the class just to be in the magnificent energy, which is the Doctor of Spiritual Science. So you are welcome to participate with us. And for the grads today, just encourage you to claim this, claim your loving, claim what you have achieved here, and go on. Continue on. Come and read or assist for a DSS or an MSS class. Hey, there's a year 3 that's going to be in Santa Monica. There's a year 5 that's going to be in Santa Monica. And then there's also year 2 online. So we have a lot of opportunity for people to continue on. So let's get on with the important things we're doing here today. So I would like to introduce to you 2 wonderful people. They were really part of the original design team of the Doctor of Spiritual Science. They have been dedicating themselves since 1997, folks, to the Doctor of Spiritual Science class. I love these 2 women dearly. Dr. Polly Sanderson, Dr. Liz Bixby, please come up.
I love you too. Confinement's one of my issues, so even if the microphone is attached, I have to free it. You know, looking at that slideshow and listening to all that Deb was saying, I thought about an evening in probably 1967. JR and I were driving down the California coast from Santa Barbara after one of those very first seminars. And he said, wouldn't it be wonderful if we could get this rolling and then after a while nobody would know where it came from? And you know, I think there's a bunch of us that know where it came from and we're grateful for that, but I think there's a whole lot of people in our world that we touch in so many ways. And they get the light and they get the loving and they don't know where it comes from. And I think JR's dream came true there. Okay, so we know, because we've experienced it and or we've been listening closely, that our MSS and DSS classes give us all an opportunity to go deeper and deeper into the teachings and discover how we make them ours. And I just wanted to mention really briefly the DSS 5 class, because it seems like it's kind of a well-kept secret that I would like to be a little bit out of the bag. So if you've done DSS 1, 2, 3, and 4, you're eligible to join DSS 5. I've been working with this class for about 4 years now, I think, and I experience it as satsang every single time. It's like there is a sweetness and an energy and a communion of souls that take place in that room that is just amazing. It's a really easygoing class for those of you that have become homework phobic. There is actually one assignment for the entire year. We have a lot of fun, we laugh a lot, and I think one of the hallmarks of that class is the amazing support that everybody has for one another. Deb talked about oneness. Wow. It is so clear. So if you're interested, give PTS a call, sign up, and come join us. It's Santa Monica next year. I call all the work that I have done all the years for the Traveler, I call it at play in the field of the Traveler. And in all my 50 years, DSS 5 is one of my favorite playgrounds. So today we're conferring on our DSS graduates a Doctoral of Spiritual Science degree. They have each successfully completed at least the first 3 years of the DSS program, participated in all the class requirements for learning what we call the skills of a spiritual scientist, fulfilled the many homework assignments, and they have written a practical treatise. A practical treatise is a paper of 50 to 100 pages that sets forth their very individual and creative account of how they took all that was presented in the curriculum and used it to bring positive change and transformation to a specific something in their lives. It could be an inner dream to experience more peace or joy, see the blessings in their lives, experience the Spirit in their creative expression, explore the power of spiritual exercises, anything. It could be an outer dream to expand their careers, heal family relationships, learn to play, be of greater service, again, anything. Ultimately, PTs are a tool for going forward in life with a blueprint for greater awareness and success, a blueprint for empowering themselves to be the spiritual beings they truly are. And you guys know how that works, huh? I don't think there's a single person that's written a PT that hasn't had that experience. Because our souls have slightly different dreams and slightly different karmas. All the PTs are different, but they're all incredibly inspiring. Writing a PT, getting through this part of the journey is not for the faint of heart. Our students require a clarity of thought and purpose, creativity to find their own individual way to bring that purpose into manifestation, and perseverance to get it all organized, supported with data and written down. PTs are really an awesome journey. It's been my pleasure and my privilege to read PTs through the years, and there's a small team of mentors that work with that, and I think we all feel humbled, inspired, and enlightened with every single PT that we receive. They're incredible. So there you have it. That's a little journey right here of what our DSS graduates have been involved with in the last few years. We know the PTs will serve you well in years to come. It's a journey that continues to expand. It never really stops, and it draws you home, and we're really, really, really proud of you. Okay, Lizzie.
My turn. So you're getting the degree today. Up until now, you're candidates. Okay, you know, you've jumped through the hoops, you've fulfilled the requirements, you've got yourselves here. Bravo, bravo. And just a little footnote, it keeps going on. So surrender to that aspect also. Could we get this off the stage, please? And this baby too, because we're going to give you a little Vanna Sanderson demo. You've probably noticed that the folks sitting on that side of the room in the black robes don't have the hood on. They're carrying their hoods. They will be coming up on stage individually. They will be giving their hood to Polly. She will give it to John. He will put it on you. At that moment, you will have received the degree. So, what's the point of all this, right? Well, JR wanted pomp and circumstance. You know, I was in his office at one point helping with Now Productions, and I was on headset, just like our friend here on the floor. And he said, he came to me and he liked to punch me. He went, boom. He said, PTS is going to have a doctoral class. And I went, I'm there. Little did I know. I was signing a contract. Okay. So when it got time to 2001 and we were actually going to do this, we had people who'd finished PTs. We didn't even know what they were going to be. You know, it was sort of like we were praying, you know, I hope we recognize one when it shows up. It was like that, believe me. So JR wanted all the regalia, everything. So the hat, this is a doctoral tam, very important. The robe is a doctoral robe. You'll see that it's quite different. It has bell-shaped sleeves. It has velvet chevrons on the sleeves. It's got velvet down the front. It's very fancy, very hot. Yeah, we need little fans with it. But the piece that sort of tops the whole thing is the hood. It's a medieval tradition. You know, basically the monks wear these things to keep warm. You know, that's why this thing's so hot. But what it does is it symbolizes A, the degree, and B, the school that's granting the degree. So this is really telling a story. So when we were sitting down to design these puppies, it was like, okay, what's the degree in? Well, it's a college of philosophy, so we've got to have philosophy in there. It's a degree in science, and it's spiritual, it's sacred, it's a seminary. So the red, the scarlet, is for the sacred, the sacredness of it all. The trim, the gold trim here and here, actually, are for the science. That symbolizes the science. And then, if you'll turn, Polly, at the back, you'll see this beautiful, beautiful blue. This is the philosophy. So it's a degree in spiritual science with an undertone, a touch of philosophy in it. Now, this back part, the inner part of the hood, represents the college that's conferring the degree. So we went, oh, okay, so what are our school colors? Didn't have them. So we went, well, what does PTS do? Well, we teach and assist people in learning the lessons of the physical and the spiritual level. So for spiritual, we have the gold. Yum. For the physical, we have the green. So this represents the school that's giving you your degree. So you can wear this proudly anywhere, at any graduation. Fun, okay. So that's it. That's what this whole thing means. So right now, you don't have that degree. You can leave. You can go if you want. No. We worked hard. We all worked really hard this last year to get this done. So I think we're at that point where, Madam, would you like to confer the proper beginnings of all of this?
Okay, so I'd like to invite John Morton back up to the stage, along with Doctors Polly and Liz, who are going to help with the graduation. And will the candidates for the 2015 Doctor of Spiritual Science degree please come forward?
Robbie Burt and her practical treatise, Living and Loving Through God. Ruth Camisso, her practical treatise, the discipline of chanting the ancient name of God, music to awaken me to my soul. Barbara Dobbs. Her PT, Walking with Spirit. Karen Cuyava. Her PT, laughing, crying, cussing, and swimming my way home to God. Judith Masachi Lang. Her PT, living and loving in God's holy thoughts. And we also have 3 other people graduating today. They're in Sydney and actually other parts of Australia. They'll be celebrating with a hooding ceremony at their conference in the beginning of next year. They're Dawn Elaine Doma, her PT, Quest for the Holy Grail. Sandra Genevieva Taylor, Floating Being of Light. And Bob Zapf, Estoy Contento, I am contented, honoring my inner child with the Christ and God Supreme.
We mentioned that completing the first 3 years of the DSS program was required to write the PT and go for graduation. There's a 4th year that's called Advanced Ministerial Studies, and there's 3 of our graduates today who also have completed year 4, and they have their certificates from that year 4 Advanced Ministerial Studies class. And they are Dr. Robbie Burt, Dr. Ruth Camiso, and Dr. Karen Cuyava. So congratulations. And if we could have DSS facilitators stand so we can say thank you. What a team. And Liz and I will thank each other. Thank you. And we will thank John for being the most steadfast guy I know of showing up and sharing with us and carrying that torch. God bless.
And I'm here to thank the readers and the assistants, all of the people who worked in the background, all of the people who supported each of us as we went along. So readers and assistants for DSS. Please stand. Yeah. That's our faculty. Thank you.
I feel like I'm the dummy and Melissa's the ventriloquist. A round of applause for the grads, all of them, MSS and DSS. And I understand that John's going to share with us.
Okay.
Yay!
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Well, here we are in 2015 at yet another graduation through Peace Theological Seminary and College of Philosophy, and thanks for having that moment with John Roger from the very first graduation. And, you know, part of the obvious is this is our first graduation since John Roger passed, and so we have a commencement in that way as well, and an invitation to what's next. I want to take a moment to elevate a bit with some of what I've been looking at that applies to this work that we do through the seminary that I consider goes into the pinnacle of what we can do in the world to learn the lessons that are here spiritually in a material world, and to work those out. In doing some research and preparation for what is taking place at this Conference of the Christ, I ran across some references from John Roger that I requested because I remembered being very moved at a graduation. It was a graduation from one of the works he founded, Insight Seminars, back in 1978. And he talked about doing battle for the souls. And I consider, you know, that's at the pinnacle of what we're doing, is that there is a spiritual opportunity that comes forward in the wisdom and the knowledge that we reach to at this seminary, in the works that John Roger founded in every way, through the movement of spiritual inner awareness, through Insight Seminars, through the University of Santa Monica, where the programs in spiritual psychology are ongoing. And also, there was a graduation today, just at 1:30, so just a few hours ago, of Insight University with the first doctoral level graduates in conscious transformation, transformational leadership. There we go. And you know, I know that is something that John Roger would have celebrated. I'm sure he would have physically been present if he was able to be there. So all these works, you know, elevate us, and they give us an opportunity to work out whatever we're working out in this world, that then becomes an opportunity in your life. Those of you who are graduates, those of you who continue to support this work as the faculty, as the staff of the seminary, as those who are the graduates and the alumni, that we go forward certainly in what we came into this world to do, and that I thank God in a very deep way for this opportunity that I have to be part of this work. So it is a joy to show up. It's a joy to be called into the work and invited. It's really something that I take very personally. It's something that I was witness to in my relationship with John Roger, that it was deeply important to him to come forward and support it. Those of you that were in the designing aspects of all of this work, and it's vast. I mean, I don't know how to measure, the hours and the dedication that went into creating what we now have as a beautiful work in this world, making souls come forward in a refinement that it's something that we have the opportunity to then demonstrate in our way, to go forward as exampleship, that there's something very powerful in the color gold, that if you haven't checked it out, next time you have the opportunity to be in the mirror, and let me be one, that there's a gold light with you. There's an illumination that's with you. So like that proverb that we heard from long ago, don't keep your light under a bushel. Be willing, be bold to bring it forth, to let people see what's in you, what's been brought forward through your courage, this dedication that you had to go through these programs. As Polly issued yet again today, there's more opportunity and more opportunity. So if you didn't know that you could come back and partake, even if you've been through it, the door is open. With what we're doing online, it's going to be expanding and extending. We did our first year of the doctoral program online, and as we heard from Deborah, we're going to be doing the second year. So you're invited to move yourself along. If you haven't been into the master's program, that's an opportunity that continues around the world. And I have taken some of what is here in this Conference of the Christ in a very deeply personal way, that the sign of what we're doing would be most obvious when we're loving one another. So that always begins with the one in the mirror, with the one that breathes you. So take time in your day, and if you miss a day, then this is the day. It's always the day to take time to spend a little time with your friend. That one we know is the traveler. Spend a little time, because that one is at the helm of what this work is. And of course, I see that spiritually with John Roger. So I extend that to you, that becomes a part of your lifelong journey. Of course, you might be saying, well, isn't it already? And I'm sure it is. I would just invite you to, in whatever way comes forward for you, to make it something deeper, something richer, that we can step into a greater light and love for one another, and to understand that wherever we go from here, wherever we are in the world, that we carry that opportunity. And when we know what's been delivered to us as a gift, then it's a responsibility to share, to extend it to other people. I'm reminded of a trip with John Roger when it was called the Soviet Union. I'm sure some of you were on that trip, if I recall, in 1988. And that just turned out to be the year that I stepped into the mantle of John Roger's work, that was spiritually being passed on, as all of it has been passed on at this point, which that part that could be passed on. And John Roger told me that I was going to be conducting the sharing with the group. So it wasn't our first argument, but we definitely had an argument about that. That my position was I was not really prepared for this, because that's how I viewed myself. That even though I was conscious that there was an acknowledgement. It was done at our conference that year, to let the world know that I was being put into that position, and that the mantle in some way was being transferred. But the reality with me personally was I didn't consider I was up to what it would take. And of course, my exampleship was John Roger. How could I possibly do what I experienced and witnessed over and over that he was able to do in such a powerful, magnificent way? So if you were there, you may remember the wrestling match that followed. Getting some nodding heads. I'm serious. It was physically, that we were wrestling, and then of course I was wondering if I should really try to take him. And the better part of me said, "Don't even go there." So in some way, I let him pin me to the chair. And so here I am, all these many years later. Stepping into it. And I'm still stepping into what he laid out as an opportunity, not just for me and in my capacity and responsibility, but for all of us. That he's still going to places that are expanding and yet reaching to us. This is my experience. The beauty of the Spirit is there's a oneness that keeps us all connected. And that a place has been prepared, not just in the world to come, but in this world, through this work that he did. And I was there on many occasions when it got very personal with people, where he was really helping them with whatever was going on as a struggle in their consciousness, over and over demonstrating his love, his patience, his tremendous gifts, to work through that. And I'm very thankful that those gifts and the knowledge that he has passed on has been beautifully enshrined and integrated into the work here at Peace Theological Seminary and the other works that I've mentioned that he founded, that it's all a work of the soul, a work that would make a world heavenly, a world where we would recognize one another as the beloved. And even when we're acting in some ways that are misbehaving and misdirected and just plain missing, that we would have that compassion for one another that would look through the eyes of the Christ and see the Christ beloved, perhaps needing someone who would just understand, someone would hold, and someone who would extend loving and caring rather than I can't help you, or some other response that turns away. So here we are, with an opportunity, and let me in some way consider that I'm in this position to call upon you to step forward. And so those positions are in leadership, to do the teachings that are here, to convey them, to be an example again, and to take it into the world, that this is the message that the Christ delivered, that this is a work that is to go into all corners of this world, that it becomes illuminated in the knowledge of the beloved, that we are all beloved of God. Berush Beshan.
Thank you, John. So, as the administrative dean, I get to see the ins and outs of PTS and what's involved in carrying forward a program. And I just wanted to thank some people that have been a tremendous support, and that is the Now Productions crew. Thank you guys so much. Now that our programs are worldwide in English and in Spanish, the work has like quadrupled, as you can probably imagine. So thank you. I really, really appreciate it. And I also wanted to thank our PTS staff. So if you could stand when I call your name. They work day in, day out, and we love doing the work, and there's a lot to do. We're very, very grateful for you. It's a pleasure working with you. So Doreen Dietschy and Cherie Wiley are deans with myself. Thank you. Elisa Geiges, who is the Director of Graduate Studies. Antonietta Schultz. Danielle Peterson. Lisa Castro. Tatiana Gailo. Alicia Jimenez. Is Alicia here? I guess she's working. I think we sent her up to Arrowhead or something. Okay, and Stella Estovich. Thank you all for joining us. Have a beautiful day. Good night.